simple approach to the genre. The main element of a horror movie is atmosphere. 100%. I think the monster can be great, the performances can be good, but if you don't surround all that in a place, in an environment where those things could happen, then it won't work.
This guy has a wonderful imagination that just takes these flights that to me are just brilliant.
I imagine that Guillermo has all kinds of little monsters and dinosaurs and little creatures in his mind, you know, chewing up things and biting things. So from a visual aspect, you really see where he's going with the movie.
Once you pass the hallway, you can go to the left and look Giancarlo over with a smile, and Giancarlo will respond to you, and that's fine.
Okay.
I was very taken by the originality of the script. I'm blown away with how he's interpreted it onto film. I think the imagination is what I was taken by, and then how that's transferred. I thought, how could he possibly transfer this into a film and make it work?
Yeah.
My immediate reaction was, this is really skillfully done. This is really atmospheric. I really feel this world as I'm reading it. And after seeing Cronos, Guillermo's first film, I just fell in love with his work, and I just thought, this is going to be really masterful.
Hey, man, you get the plan.
The film he made before, Cronos, is a vampire movie, but not quite a vampire movie. And this, in the same way, this is a sort of a monster movie, but not quite a monster movie. In the normal way, it uses the genre to its own ends.
What I like about the genre is that it allows me to create images that are not possible in any other genre. I can create, for example, a very pure visual design, for example. I can say, okay, the movie is going to be dominated by these shapes, like the arches, for example, and these textures and these colors and this visual approach.
It's very gothic in certain ways, and it has a lot of wonderful sort of psychological terror elements. There's a very slow build before the descent. There's a certain point at which I get dragged down here into the sewers, and that for me is like Alice being pulled through the rabbit hole.
The idea of layering the city into sort of the above layer and then the more subterranean levels appealed to me very much, in the sense that it was full of the possibilities of Gothic images and creating these sub-worlds, sub-levels. It was very attractive to me.
It's a very kind of almost classic Gothic style to it. There's a lot of really strong symbolism in it. There's a lot of kind of Christian symbolism in it. There's a scene in an abandoned church, you know, with the little autistic boy, Chewie, and the two mimics, and they're almost like avenging angels. But you don't know whether or not Chewie is going to be hurt by them or just sort of taken with them. And it's a real morality play, and he wants us to have as much humanity within the sci-fi struggle as possible.
It's important to see the fragility of the balance, both in human relationships and between man and nature. I try to do this not by bringing it to the surface, but by putting it on the images, putting it on the things that are not said by the characters, you know. I have a couple worried about pregnancy, while we have tons of insects breeding down below. I have some really strange images at a very visceral level of things that could be read as metaphors for all of this. But I trust the images more than the words. Hopefully the textures, the ambience, the atmosphere, and the situations will sit into the skin of people as opposed to going for the big scare. And I think that it's much more pervasive and perverse to try and sit under the skin of people than to go for the big scare. The easiest approach to this would have been to say, oh, 6 foot tall insects, let's, you know, have a blast, right? And just make it a gore fest or something. We tried to keep it really classic and contained, not to make it just a